A very good evening and thank you all for joining us today. I am Shri Rupa, the manager for social and online communities and part of the creators team. And I welcome you all to a brand new series of the creators program. Now, over the last 1 year, we have connected with so many of our ABOs and our creators. We have helped you learn and adopt social media for business. We have connected with over 4,500 silver and up in the creators program last year. And, it has been so great to see the journey of all our creators. Some of them have been doing extremely well to use the social media. They have been creating some great content and building their personal brand. It's just great to see the progress that has happened over the last year. But at the same time, we also believe that anyone, anytime, anywhere can be a creator. And therefore, this time we have come up with a brand new series called No Filters by Amway Creators for all our ABOs, for all our socialpreneurs who are keen to learn and explore this dynamic medium, who would want to learn from expert speakers and from fellow creators through this community of creators and try to make their social game stronger. So today for this session, we have got two esteemed panel of speakers, starting with Simrat Bishnoi, Vice President Content Marketing, Marcom Social PR and CSR Amway India. And she has also been spearheading the creators program here in India in conversation with our expert speaker today, Saurav Jain. Saurav is an entrepreneur. He is one of the top digital marketing specialists in India. He has been awarded as the top 25 social media professionals of India by Global Youth Marketing Forum. And at the same time, Saurav has trained over 1 lakh professionals in the field of digital marketing and personal branding. So without taking any more time, I would request you all to keep your notepad and your pens ready. Take out as much notes and as much learnings that you can take from this session, and keep putting your questions in the chat box, which we'll try to take up at the end of the session. So with that, I would like to call upon and hand over to Simrat. So over to you, Simrat.
Thank you, Shri, for that introduction. So as you all know, Creators is a platform for all our ABOs where they are able to bring out their passion and learn to showcase them on social by building a community of customers, engaging with them to turn their passions into profit. As you all know, of course, it's a platform for all of you to connect and participate through the various exciting programs that Amway Creators keeps launching, keeps engaging, and whereby you learn a lot and also understand, the various features that each of these social platforms have. And as part of Creators, so what are we bringing to you today? So we are bringing you a brand new series called No Filter. So what does No Filter mean? So No Filter is a special series that is going to be bringing spotlight on creators and influencers through various virtual sessions. हम क्या करेंगे इसमें कि we are going to be inviting some special people to help unleash the social facets. Some of you will be really, I'm sure, learning a lot and exploring that how you can strengthen your own journey and adopt to social, how to create good content, how to engage with your followers. And now this time you're going to be learning through the experts who you must be already following, I'm quite sure, as we unveil our list of experts. And today we have a very special guest who we are going to be totally getting very candid with. We're going to understand what goes behind, how is he building his social handle. So all bars, unveiled, there's going to be nothing that's going to be hidden. And let me get started and candid a conversation with Saurav. But let me ask him by asking, this first question that Saurav, when we approached you and we invited you for a new series called No Filter, what came to your mind?
I just was very curious to figure out what does it actually mean. And then maybe I sensed that it is all about being very transparent and candid with whatever you have practiced so far, just pour it out to the audiences. So I assumed No Filter is all about that.
Great. So you're very right. And as you know, Saurav, today we have a fabulous audience of our direct sellers, our Amway business owners. Out of them, so many of them are creators who've been creating content consistently and building their personal brand around healthy lifestyle or beauty or cooking, totally based on their passion. So we want to ask you, what do you think are the most important things to keep in mind while building their passion profile? So what is it they should always, top of mind, be very clear when they are building their profiles? How should they differentiate? How should they create a niche for themselves? And, so I think this is something that requires them first to understand also who their target is. So I think I'll just park my question there because we have a lot of questions for you, but maybe you can just get started with how should they get started with the audience?
Fantastic. That's a very interesting question. There's a saying which says the man who chases two rabbits catches none. It's because sometimes you talk about everything because you want to be in the limelight, but the problem becomes that people don't know why should they connect with you. There will be no particular reason why should they connect with you. The clarity that you bring in the minds of the audience is largely dependent on the clarity that you bring in your mind. The moment you say yourself that you are only going to talk about a particular topic or a particular niche or a particular industry, people will know why should they connect with you and they should follow you. There are three parameters which I generally look at when it comes to narrowing down your topic or your subject or your niche for that matter. And the first thing is you need to figure out what are you extremely passionate about. Let's say if I'm passionate about health, the second question that I have to ask is, do I have the skills to really go and talk about health? For example, if I'm talking about fitness and I am not fit, then how would people hear me out? But at the same time, if I'm talking about fitness and I'm trying to get nutrition certificates and trying to become fit, and I'm sharing my journey with my audience, people will trust us a lot more. So your two things, one is your passion, second is your skills, which is your talent to prove your passion. Now, a lot of people will judge themselves and they'll think, I'm not very good at this. The best part of this is you can commit to that particular thing that you're extremely passionate about, and then you become a lifelong learner of that one subject so that you almost do a PhD in your mind. You don't need a doctorate degree, but the more knowledge you share in that one subject, which you're specializing in, the more and more you learn, the more and more you become a scholar in that subject. And the last thing is you also have to understand there needs to be a demand in the market for what you're trying to specialize. For example, if I'm going to go and do a depth understanding of a subject and people are not really interested in listening about it, then it's just going to be you and few people around you who would be willing to listen to you. So there needs to be an understanding that this is a demanding subject. There are few things that works a lot on the internet: health, wealth, relationship, spirituality, hobbies. These are five top layers of niche. And in this, you need to define what is that your subject is. So this is how you can streamline your niche.
Very well said, Saurav. So very clearly that niche comes from, one is very clearly as you define your audience, the content has to be so relevant that it attracts the right target audience. So just in continuation to that, I'd like to just, pose another question around, for example, because our ABOs right now are following three passion categories. So one is around health, fitness, somebody is doing around beauty, and there's a third, passion that they're following is where they are cooking and posting a lot of content on that. So how would you advise that? How should they identify that they get the right audience? Like, for example, somebody is into cooking. So how can they get into the right TG so that they get the same followers who are inclined towards what they are doing? And similarly for fitness or beauty, so how do they really identify and attract that right audience for them?
Fantastic. It's a very interesting question. So let's understand this, that you have defined cooking, you defined beauty, you defined fitness. Now, a lot of people will try to become everything. Some of them will try to become one of these. The one who wins is somebody who tries to become one of these, because you try to then attract that kind of a tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. And if your vibe is very confusing, then your audience stays confused. So if you're very clear that you're here to for Instagram marketing or if your growth, whatsoever, like if you define one thing, people will revolve around that one thing. So in this case, you have to list down who your potential audience is. Let's say if it's for cooking or if it's for beauty, if it's for health. Now, let's say cooking. In cooking, there are multiple kinds of cooking. There's cooking for kids, there's cooking for people suffering from diabetes, there's cooking for people wanting to do their fat loss, there's cooking for people who wanting to eat masaladar food, people who have taste for continental food. Now, each of these are categories. So you have to put categorization of your audiences. Now, then you need to give a weightage to what would be your interest. Like, what do you want to really talk a lot more about? Let's say you want to talk about food, or you want to talk about diet food. So you need to give that percentage to it. Then for each of these, you start identifying what the problems are. The more and more you identify the problems of your consumer, the questions of your consumer. For example, if you start identifying questions like, let's say I'm talking about cooking, and in cooking, and I'm talking about diet cooking, then there are questions that your audience may have, which is about how should I lose fat despite eating regularly? What am I supposed to eat in the night? How do I cook my 3 meals a day with healthy ingredients? So you have to list down every single question that you may have in your mind with respect to that subject, or your audience may have in their mind with respect to that subject. And your job becomes addressing them through your digital activities. There's a tool called answerthepublic.com. You can log on to answerthepublic.com and find out multiple questions that people may have. You just have to put your topic, let's say diet, or you would say weight loss, and you'll see multiple questions that people may have. And those questions are something that you may want to address. So your target audience in nutshell is largely dependent on what you and how you position yourself. So if your niche is clear, then your target audience becomes super clear. Your target audience needs only two things. One, there's a solution to the problem. And two, you are approachable because you are in conversations with them through multiple methods, maybe through Instagram Live, maybe through an engagement post. So you have to derive at that aspect of your presence where people feel that they can actually talk to you. So that's the answer to your question. And one more thing which I forgot to add. While you do this, you have to also look at what your competitors are doing. So you have to identify 5 competitors in your industry, in your domain, and look at who their followers are, because their target audience is your target audience. And if content or a particular subject is working for them, it will work for you too. It's like this. You watch a TV channel, let's say 9 p.m. was the prime time in India. Star Plus and Sony and Setmax and every other channel will, or Colors for that matter, will always have a Saas Bahu serial going on, right? And people will hop on, hop off from one to another between breaks to figure out which is their style. But eventually, if you see, these people ran the same show, the same type of show at the same time because they knew their audience is willing to watch this content at 9 p.m. So they are not trying to change the timing for the show. It's because they want to give their consumer one of the other choices that they have at that point of time. So you have to understand that instead of being different from your competition, try to become like them so that you can attract their audiences. That doesn't mean that you copy them. That doesn't mean that you copy the same thing. You try to attract, you try to look at what they are doing, and you try to bring in similar relevant content up there. Yes? So that's the answer to your question.
This is truly, gem of your words that we're going to be just, your wisdom, I think, is going to be something that's going to be really useful for our audience, because a lot of times what we also see is that, people start to just create content that, okay, I have to cook, so let me just pick up 5 recipes and start putting it, on Instagram handle. And they might just not be able to, give the audience what they need at that time to what it's trending. So I think I really love the way that you said that, how they need to think from what your audience is expecting. And I think a great tip on where they can find those questions also. On this only, I just want to just elaborate, if you could just elaborate a little more, because I feel that, there needs to be also a lot of research behind your content. So bringing me to the next question, which is also related to how do you create content buckets? Because it's not as easy that, okay, you wake up one day, today I'm going to be putting up this. So how do you work around it, Saurabh? And also maybe that's something for our audience to also pick up, that I think some part that we always miss, that you have to really pre-plan. And would you suggest that they really deep dive and study, because unless the content is good, only then it will be picked up and lead to more engagement and follows and so on. So what type of content buckets, what is the right content strategy? What would be the frequency that, you would, suggest, and maybe taking an example of somebody who's into fitness. So we'd like to just hear more from you on that.
Okay, so interesting question. You have to always understand this, that this journey is not about you. The more and more you understand this, and you keep this in your mind, that this journey is about your audience, the game changes for you. A lot of people is so much in showing off themselves, their lifestyle, their car, their home, where they are eating and what they are up to, and their selfies and their parties. It's good and it attracts certain kind of audiences. But the question that people may ask is, what is in it for me? Remember, you have to change the perspective to make people feeling envious about you, jealous about you, versus people feeling ingratitude about you. Now, ingratitude comes when you add value into their lives. And the first and the most important thing is, how do you add that value in their life? Now, there are two ways that you can add value in their life. One, you can always share your knowledge or what you have learned with them, where you can curate content or create content. Now, when you curate content, it can be, let's say you said fitness. So 10 ways to start your morning, right? And that's curated content. You're not using your brains. You're collating and figuring out what are the 10 ways, you're researching on the internet, and you're displaying that in the creative most fashion. The second thing is creating content, which is prolific. And you say, I woke up at 5 a.m. in the last 10 days, and this is what I felt, right? Now that is original content. So there is curation and creation, and you need to keep a combination of both, because if you're only focusing on original content, you get lost. So 60% to 70% of your content should be curated content, and 30% should be original content, so that there's less pressure on you. Your time goes in research, and then less time goes in creating innovative stuff for your audiences, so that there is a good balance of doing something innovative every month for your audiences. Now, I always say this: when you're creating your content bucket, figure out the top banners, helpful content like how to's, tips. These are whys, uh, secrets. So helpful always works. Second is inspiring content. Let's say you're into fitness and you're waking up at 4 a.m. every day and you're doing yoga and you're making a story about that. That is inspiring content. You're sharing healthy fitness quote is inspiring content. So you're sharing your food routine throughout the day is inspiring content. So helpful, inspiring, entertaining content is also very important. So there's memes that you share, there's funny things that you share, funny incidents of your life that you have gone through, you share, how you twisted your hand while you were doing a certain pose, you share. You bring in engagement, which is asking simple questions. A lot of people do not use a simple feature of Instagram story for that matter, which is question feature, where you can just allow people to ask you a question and you're responding. There's a poll, there's a quiz that increases engagement of your profile. So increase and ask a simple question on your post, and you'll see multiple people participating. So you can create engaging content, which is very, very important. And number 5 is trending content. For example, if now is the season of IPL, and if you could figure out talking about, look at Virat Kohli's fitness routine, people are going to listen to you very carefully. Talk about someone XYZ's fitness profile in the IPL section, you will be seeing people looking at it very seriously because it's a season. So you need to really connect the dots in talking about the trending topic at the moment. Remember, there is always intent. Your content needs to have the right intent. Like you are doing this for the welfare, and the moment you find that solution, you will see your audience connecting with you in a much, much larger fashion, because they understand that your intent is to really help them, and that's what matters.
So, Saurav, thank you so much. I think I'm getting even more curious because I've been following you for quite a while, but I'm sure that the audience wants to now see some examples which we can show them live, because you've been doing all of this. Your content has great messages. It has a good balance of humor. It has a good balance of different tools that you're using for engagement. So would you want to just pull out some of your favorite posts that you think that worked really well for you and
Sure.
show it to us here?
Sure. Perfect. So what I'm going to do right now is, before we get into that, Simran, I'll also talk about what kind of content works, right? So there is reels, there are stories, there are posts, there are carousels. So when you're doing your digital strategy for your building your personal brand, reels play a very important role. So I'm going to share some of the examples right now with respect to what kind of reels, what kind of posts you need to make it happen. So I'm going to just take you through that right now at the moment. Uh, I'll also try to break this up in a way where you understand that your reels plays gets you visibility on the maximum ground. Number two, you have to look at your post, which is static. You have to create carousels, which is largely engaging. So I'm going to show some of the examples for your reference. So let me just share my screen with you.
Sure. Sure. While you pull that out, I think what would be also great for us to know is that because Instagram keeps changing its algorithms, right? So there was a time when they were promoting stories a lot, then it's reels. So also when you're taking us through, do explain that how you mixing and balancing between them as well.
Sure. So let's look at this. Uh, that's a very interesting question. Now you have to understand, Instagram is trying to always push its new feature. Now it's trying to push reels a lot because it wants to compete and kill TikTok. That's why TikTok was banned. And the moment TikTok got banned, Instagram reels got introduced, right? And the moment reels got introduced, all the TikTokers jumped onto this. So it understands that India is the biggest digital creators economy. It has the future here. So that's why their focus is to push reels a lot. So in your content strategy, you need to at least make one reel a day. So I'm going to show you some examples of content first, and then I'm going to dwell deep into the kind of reels that you can create for yourself so that you get more traction for it. Now, this content is like a collaborative post, which I have done with another influencer. So if you could collaborate and create content, it can help you engaging their followers too. So collaboration is one of the keys. Second is trending style. This is carousel style. I do this weekly, regardless of what. Every Monday, I share what is new things in digital. So I do research. If you see, this is no brain research. This is just curated content. And my team works on this along with me. And there is the content which is curated and shared every Monday. So there is an audience which is built that comes repeatedly on my profile every Monday to see what is new things in digital. And there's a fan following for this just one style. So create that one style that is uniquely yours. So that's tip number 2. Now, tip number 3 is you need to really create suggested for you kind of a post. For example, in one style, if you can write a lot of value like this, for example, how 5 ways to wake up in the morning, or 16 things that you can do before you go to bed. Okay. How to get 10 ways to get good night's sleep. And you put all of that in one of the designs, you will get maximum saves and shares and a lot of screenshots too, because there's so much of value in that one post itself. So people will find this a lot more valuable piece as such. So that is one of the things. The fourth is inspiring. So the more and more you create tweet style posts, this is my style, which gets the maximum traction you could see here. So create a simple tweet style post. There's a tool called Remix by Buffer. You can make a note. It's REMIX by Buffer, which is BUFFER. It's an app where you can convert any tweet into a good design like this, and you can upload it on your Instagram. So that is one of the things that you can look at. Besides this, one of the things that you should always do is collaborate with other influencers and go live with them. Because when you collaborate with other influencers, when you go live with them, their audiences, they will see your content. They will see the value in it. They will see the value in it. And 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 they will gets to see you. And that is one of the best ways to build credibility for your Instagram. So go live with experts in your industry, and that will help you big time in the process. So that's one of the things that you cannot ignore at all. So you can see here, this is my style of doing things, where I do carousels, where I do listicles like these, which is one page, everything up there so that you can see maximum people liking and saving and sharing, so that there's a lot more value that you can offer. While you do this, in between, share your personal experiences, but every personal experience has got to do a lot with your work. The more and more you connect with your work, the better it is for you. All right. So that's basically from a content strategy point of view. When you're designing, choose the colors. So you need to know that your color palettes is people, the moment they see this, they recognize that it is your color palette. So find out your styling factor and the colors that is associated with your account. Now comes the next important thing, which is your reels. Now, reels is important. You can't get away from it. There are many types of reels, and entertainment is the zone in the reel. So you have to really create entertaining content. Now you have to understand, in the reel, the first thing that really matters is hook, the attention. Remember, attention is the biggest currency. And if you're able to grab your audience's attention, there's nothing like it. So I'm going to show you some examples of reels that got me a lot of traction. So I'm just going to take you. So I try to connect the real-time songs, the trending songs, with the topic which I want to associate audiences with. So if you see, this was this is one of the content which I'm going to share with you, just for you to understand.
Listen to me now. Listen.
So this is short. Remember, shorter the reels, the better it is. So that people, there's so much of value in that 1 7-second or 8-second reel. People will have to come back and watch it again and again. And Instagram thinks that you have created something so good that people are watching this again and again. So that's why videos like this gets a lot of traction. So try to add content in your reel in the shortest format. Okay. So I'll give you one more example of the reel which has been created, which has got a lot of traction, so that you understand that this one, if you could see. The next important thing in your reel is transition.
Listen to me now.
So if you see here, transitions, your hook is about the text that you place. It's about the transition of your clothes and the place, and it's about the value that you add into it. So the shortest, this is again 7-second reel, which is getting that kind of traction up there. So when you're creating your reel, remember the text placement, remember the choice of music that you pick up. Trending music is very important. Number 3, if you could change the location and do transitions. If you can break the content, when I say break the content, you can see here, I could have said this, but in this reel, I could have said this thing at a stretch, but I took 3 breaks, because in reel, you can record 1 line, then the second line and the third line. And that itself becomes a transition in itself. So I'm just going to show you an example of the same.
My last post got 3,000 comments. My last reel got 2,800 shares. And I could do this because of this tool called InstaChamp. If you want to learn how to automate engagement on your Instagram and get a lot of story mentions, share this particular reel on your story and tag me and get a free course access right now.
So if you see this one, this I would have said in 1 line, but I wanted to, so I created 3 different angles of recording this. So I took line 1, then line 2, and then line 3. So each of this has its entry. So that itself is a very attention. Some people will stay for some time inside of the process. So that's just an example. When you're making reel, create action-based reel, so you don't have to speak a lot, because a lot of people fear in communicating. So you can be presentable. Like every time I travel, I ensure that I captured things. I don't even know what I'm going to post later. Just check.
I got 1, 2, 3.
I don't know while I'm doing this, I don't know what is going to come. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in multiple locations. I don't know what's going to come, but I record it. And later I connect the dot with trending musics so that there's a value inside of the process. Yeah. So these are some of the styles. So you can use my Reels book and just benchmark what I've been doing, because I try to create simple, stupid Reels. I don't want to spend a lot of time in creating them. I want to keep it simple so that I get the maximum mileage. I've learned one thing: the more and more you plan your Reels and do a lot of shoots, you don't get traction. Sometimes I do just simple, stupid Reels where you can give value in just 7 seconds or 10 seconds may just go viral. So those are some of the important tips when you are trying to create your Reels content there.
Wow, it's so exciting, Saurav. So, you know what I take back, and I can now very much say that everybody who's in our audience right now can very easily relate that what keeps your audience glued on. So, what we saw on your handle was your content was simple. That means quick and easy to consume. Second, it was fun in between. It was, while there could be so much text, but then it was so easy to understand and consume. And the third very important thing is it was new, right? While I might be hearing about this, okay, what are the tips and tricks? I can Google, I can reach out to many places to get that content. But then I think the way that you put it together all at one place and yet making it very easy to digest is what really makes the audience wanting more and keep coming back to your handle. And I think what you've shared are how to use the features so effectively are very easily applicable for whether you are following a routine of fitness or health, passion, beauty, cooking, because all these principles very easily can apply to all of them. So thanks so much for sharing for that. And I'm sure a lot of us are going to be going back again and again to your handle to, keep downloading these, a lot of tips and tricks that you're sharing. That also brings me to my next question, which is, that's always on everyone's mind, that how do we make ourselves more discoverable?
Right.
So the hashtags and, like you said, Reels. So how is it that, we all can make ourselves and our entire audience, our creators can make themselves more visible?
Interesting question. So first of all, when you are creating your content, you have to understand how do you really focus on creating your content needs to be discovered, right? And hashtags play a very important role. So again, I'm going to share with you a tool here, which is a free tool called Meta Hashtag. You can use Meta Hashtag as a tool to figure out what would be relevant hashtags that you can use with your post. Hashtags is one of the best ways to be discovered. For example, if I'm searching for fitness, okay, I'm just doing that analysis right now. It will show you in a free version of it. It will show you only some numbers, but still okay for you to use it. So it will show you fitness, how many people are using it, how many posts per hour, how much is the average likes. So you will get to know all the hashtags related to fitness in this. So as of now, there's 169 more, but in the free, you will get the top ones here. So you can do multiple such research using Meta hashtags, or you can directly go and search on Instagram itself. So let's say if I'm on Instagram and I'm searching for fitness, you will get to see a lot of hashtag recommendations here. Now, this is where you get all your hashtags. You can list them down and use them on the basis of the popularity. There's king hashtag, there's queen hashtag, there's soldier hashtags. King hashtags are the ones which is very popular, okay? And it's used by millions of people. You could see for fitness, there were about 6,400 posts every hour, which means everybody is doing it. How are you going to become top post? It's going to be a biggest question. So try to use combination of a lot of middle queen hashtags like these, which has less number of posts, and soldier hashtags, which would be fitness Mumbai, fitness Delhi, fitness Chennai. The more and more you create lesser used hashtag too, you will get visibility with relevant people up there. So that is one of the things. What kind of hashtags? So one is hashtags on the basis of popularity. Then what kind of hashtags? You have hashtags like local hashtags like fitness Mumbai, Mumbai influencer, etc., etc. Then you have brand-based hashtag. Hashtag, for example, Amway, hashtag Amway member or whatsoever. That's a brand-based hashtag. Then you can go ahead and create generic hashtag, for example, fitness tips, and discoverable hashtag. For example, fitness tip of the day. A lot of people subscribe to it and they want to see what is the fitness tip of the day. So you need to figure out combination of hashtags when you create them for your Instagram post. Second thing is you have to understand Instagram realized that a lot of people have stopped, they don't know how to use hashtags. So today, it doesn't matter, even if I type digital marketing, let's say I'm just giving you an example right now, I will still see posts coming on my platform on the basis, okay, I think it's not applicable on the desktop, but on the phone, you can see that, let me just check. Okay, there is a problem. So let's ignore. So even if you use keywords in your description, you may get your content discovered when people are searching. Remember, Instagram is becoming like the Google of posts. So if you use keywords in your description, that will help you. The third thing of discovery is you need to go live with influencers. The fourth thing of discovery is making reels. And fifth way of discovery is collaborative reels, where you collaborate with people. Let's say if I collaborate with Simrat and Simrat is asking me a question, she just does one part of the video and she says, Saurav, what's your fitness routine? And I say, I wake up and I take my chai. And she makes the other part of the video. She's like, are you sure you make chai? So we don't have to really meet to make these collaborative videos. It's just her part and my part, which we merge later and we upload in collaboration, and her audience and my audience gets to see that. So start pitching people for collaborative reels, and you can do this amidst each other as a family and try to build cash on each other's audience and try to grow your audience at a larger extent, because that is what is more entertaining option. Yes. So that's basically tips on this lines.
These are some great ones, and we always encourage our creators to use as many hashtags. And I think these definitely help them become more discoverable. So thanks for those. And especially this one, I think this meta hashtag is a great tool that we will encourage everyone when they are just about to post to go through and search for the right hashtags to post. So also, Saurav, tell me that, because, of course, Instagram, you're right, absolutely. People are actually making their purchase decisions based on who they follow, what they see, and on Instagram. So 60 to 70%, especially millennials, are making their purchase decisions also totally based on Instagram. However, right now we are at a stage that we are wanting to build a very strong, profiles of our creators. So how would you suggest that they can do this organically on Instagram? So what are the best practices if you want to just ensure, and what are the techniques that they should use, that they should keep growing organically, which they should just follow as a routine, as a calendar, as a hygiene?
Okay, simple thing. You have to be consistent in your game. The moment you try to become consistent in the process, it becomes easy for you. So start becoming consistent. So that's number one rule. Second thing is strategically align your content strategy on the basis of content buckets, which I shared. So you plan your calendar, you schedule them so that it's not too much on your head to actually create content every day. I always say this to my students, create content 15 days in advance so that your calendars are clear. You have a lot more easy ways to get value for yourself, which means you can research a lot. So don't create daily pieces of content. Try to create 1 week in advance. So that is the second thing which I would recommend. And third thing is, of course, I shared my tips with you guys is hashtag and live, which I think you can re-listen to that. But those are some of the biggest mantra of organically growing your Instagram. So that's basically how I would conclude on this question.
Okay, so this is candid. You're on the roll.
Yeah.
What's on Saurav's mind first thing in the morning when he wakes up?
Okay, can you repeat the question? The question is, what do I do?
So as soon as Saurav wakes up in the morning, what's the first thing on his mind?
My affirmations. I always say this, I am truly awesome. And that's how I begin my day, because a lot of people underestimate themselves. And the moment they underestimate themselves, the world underestimates them too. So I always say this to myself, I'm awesome, and I'm very thankful and grateful for this day, because the more you are in gratitude, the more you receive. So that's my mantra. This is the first thing I do. Second is I just hit the gym, and that's how fitness is my. I mean, I begin my day working out, because if you work out in the morning, then your day is going to be absolutely amazing. So that's basically what I do.
And when you wake up in the morning and when you start planning your content, I want to know that is it that your mind is too overcrowded with so much content that you're creating all the time? You're like eating, sleeping, drinking content. So how do you balance your sanity sometimes to say that, okay, so now I need to switch off, or you just don't switch off, or you don't believing in switching off and you're always on?
No, I think if you are into content creation, your mind is always buzzing, and it is always, you'll find content everywhere. I think this is the new social media era where content creators are more anxious because they're always thinking of content in their head. You need to really switch off when you have to switch off, which means it's by choice that you have to get there, because your mind does not give you that choice. It will always want you to create content all the time. That's why I said create content in advance. And I also like to outsource some of my work to my team members, so that it's not on my head to upload and use hashtags. Of course, you will not get the liberty, but always remember that there are so many freelancers available in the market who are willing to do this job for you. Content creation is important. Who creates content it's not a universal mandate that you have to create. You can plan and you can get it executed. So think like you are a brand, you are a business, and you have your team around you to support you. So I do that a lot, because I need to have my peace of my mind, and that's why I try to outsource 50% of my work, and 50% like stories and stuff I do myself, but the rest is all outsourced.
And what are the hashtags that define you?
Hashtag that defines me: love yourself, believe, just be yourself. Number 3, keep working hard. Number 4, Instagram marketer. Number 5, digital scholar, which is also my institute. And number 6, help people. These are 6 hashtags.
Yeah, that's interesting. That defined you so much. And Sri, last question from my side, but maybe I just want to know, so which has been your favorite filters, and which you just feel that, oh, this is what really works best for me always, your go-to filter?
Okay, my go-to filter I use this filter called GG, which is by Gaurav Sharma. I don't know who is he, but then I searched, once I discovered it on my face, and I don't need to wear makeup. I don't have to really groom myself. It just helps me look better. So I believe filters are, when so many people say that people that you have to accept your flaws, then why do you use filter? I said, we do say accepting your flaws is good, but that doesn't mean that you should not look presentable. So if you're not presentable, then start using good filters. That makes you more presentable. So I use GG. That's my filter.
Yeah, and that's what we should test the filters, right? That's what filters are for.
Absolutely. Filters are about testing. So you have to keep testing. There's so many, right? There are many effects also, and you have to keep testing. It is for you to test them. So I don't know why people have created. I know there should be no filter in real life, but I think when you are in the real life, use filters. I mean, it matters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Saurabh. It's been really an interesting discussion, and I loved every input that you gave. So, hashtag.
Thank you. Hashtag is this way. Thank you.
Hashtag.
All right. Nice talking to you guys. Thank you.